Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Okay, so I guess I'm about to get in trouble again. I don't know if you've ever had the experience that something that was just truly so important to you and really clear and was so much a part of you and was definitely your taste and identity to some certain degree, depending upon what it was, um, when revisited doesn't suit you at another time or what have you. And I mean, I'm not talking about the difference of like, from when you're in grade school to high school or, high school to college or something, but, um, if you've always thought of yourself as a person who loved this author, and then you go back and you read the book, and the memory of it is so different than what you recalled, it can be kind of shocking. And I'm having that happen now so frequently to me because the one book that I did not spend my whole life reading, the Bible, is now the one that I'm reading. And everything else that I studied as a kid, I mean, except for Hebrew Bible, but it's so different now the way that I'm studying it that it's almost like it's not the same book. Um, all the other things that I made sure that I was reading, the Vedas, the Gita, um, any anything that was about Buddhism that was applicable. Quran. I just read that way too many times. How is it that I read all that and I never read the? I don't know how that happened. I don't know if I systematically was avoiding it. I mean, I think at a certain time I was, but it's weird to me that now that's the one that grasps my heart, and that when I look through all of these that I had spent so much time in, um, and it's kind of strange. I don't know. Now when I look back, I'm like, whatever attracted me? Why why did I see it in such a short-sighted fashion? That's one thing I have to say is that um, and now when I look at these, I see the longer implications of them, and it grabs my heart, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So there's three quotes in particular that I had come across that sort of exemplified these. And um, I hope that I put them together in a way I can find them again. Okay, so the first two are going to be quotes from Abdu'l-Baha, and the last one is, well, everybody knows that I'm irritated by this one. This is the Arabic 32 hidden word. Okay, so these first two are from Abdu'l-Baha. Okay. When you love a member of your family or a compatriot, let it be with a ray of the infinite love. Let it be in God and for God. Wherever you find the attributes of God, love that person, whether he be of your family or of another. Shed the light of a boundless love on every human being whom you meet, whether of your country or race or political party, or of any other nation, color, or shade of political opinion. Heaven will support you while you work in this ingathering of the scattered peoples of the world beneath the shadow of the almighty tent of unity. Okay, here's that one. Then there's this one. Be not the slave of your moods, but their master. But if you are so angry, so depressed, and so sore, that your spirit cannot find deliverance and peace even in prayer, then quickly go and give some pleasure to someone lowly or sorrowful, or to a guilty or innocent sufferer. Sacrifice yourself, your talent, your time, your rest to another, to one who has to bear a heavier load than you, and your unhappy mood will dissolve into a blessed, contented submission to God. Okay. And the last one is Baha'u'llah's Hidden Words. This is 32 Arabic. And this is the one that, yeah, I really did set a tune to, and blah, blah, blah. O Son of the Supreme, I have made death a messenger of joy to thee, wherefore dost thou grieve? I have made the light to shed on thee its splendor, why dost thou veil thyself therefrom? Okay, so why do these bug me so much? I mean, if you go ahead and you just read them on your own and you kind of, take them piece by piece and such, and, um, maybe they just to you sound like some kind of poetry, or they're beautiful in some way because it means something to you for whatever it is. But if you're taking it, as Holy Writ, um, how does that, color and shade, obviously the way you view God, you view other people, you view yourself, you view society, and so on and so on and so on. So I think I'd have to say that the one that sticks out to me first as like probably one of the ones that had made me the most miserable as such, that whole long time, was the second one. Because at first, it would strike to me as similar almost to things that, Eleanor Roosevelt had said, because she had talked about that she didn't have time to be depressed, and that if a person was, that they would just pick themselves up and go do something helpful for someone, and that would, do away with it all. And I don't know if that's the case for everyone. It depends maybe upon what you're depressed about. I mean, if you're lonely because you don't see the worth in yourself, and that you find the worth in yourself when, you're exchanging, some loving expression with somebody else, then I guess maybe that might be part of it. But depending upon what if the other part of it has to do with, this is the part where it says, if you can't find peace even in prayer, well, what is your prayer? I just recently did a vlog on prayer too, so I'm gonna have to link these together. But if if your prayer is, those petitions of, please do this, or if it's just a matter of praise, 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 and not anything else except for, well, I would say those two, because I think those are probably the two what I would describe as being the more similar to Baha'i prayer, possibly. That's my description. Go ahead and argue with me as you wish. Um, instead of what I experience now, which is a different kind of worship and prayer together. I'm not saying that I wasn't trying to worship when I was a Baha'i praying, but the well, in yoga it's considered that connection, that yoke. Um, that connection I feel now as more like the current of energy that I I flow into the tap into that energy wave of, whereas I don't know why it wasn't that way otherwise, or whatever. But I mean, I have my suspicion. But I think it's so blame the patient. It's like, so, well, it's your fault. And that's, I think, why it was so disquieting. Um, the next one, I'm sure, to so many people seems completely innocuous. Okay? And I'm not saying that I think that it's sinister in some kind of a way, but I'm so shocked at how it does not feed me the way that I used to think that that's what I was getting from it. Um, and I think parts of it have to do with uh, the descriptive imagery that's being used, like these just choice words like array of the infinite love, uh, attributes of God, love that person, and then talking, of course, about, like, that it doesn't matter, what, race or color or nationality or political or whatever. Um, But maybe the part that bugs me the most is heaven will support you while you work in this ingathering of scattered peoples of the world beneath the shadow of the almighty tents of unity. And these are all like, what's the word? They're lowercase, they're not uppercase, which to me kind of indicates, that these are sort of human things. Even though it's saying that that's, God's desire, because it's saying, heaven will support. But this is kind of one of the problems for me. And I know that there's Baha'is who are going to say, oh, well, you just want to be spoon-fed. I just really see it as one of the vacancies that's left by not having any clergy, because there's no, I mean, there are people that you could ask as far as, sure, you could ask the NSA, and you can ask your LSA, and you can ask, people who've been Baha'is forever, and such generation Persians, or, someone whom you really trust, or you can spend years meditating on it, and, find what it means to you at every different level and stage of your life, and expression and understanding. I mean, really, you can play with it in lots of different ways, but it's shocking to me now how when I read that it doesn't ring like, oh yes, that's exactly what I want to do, or where I'd want to be, and yet it's the opposite now for the Bible, where I'm like, oh my gosh, that speaks my heart. So the last one I talked about before, just because I've seen so much damage from it, because people are not offered the chance to go through the stages of grief, and immediately being told that you don't have space or time to grieve, you should be immediately happy, put on a happy face, go on about your life. If you've spent time doing that, there's just kind of that in the culture that you're wallowing or something like that, and that your time is better spent helping other people. And there's that tie into the other one again too. And I just think it completely takes the humanity out of the connection that people have in life and pass through death, that is so important as a human experience, and so pivotal to being able to move to a place where you can have the fond memory of keeping that person alive, that the way that they've affected and changed your life is so monumental, rather than just, shaking it off and going, okay, back to business. And it very much took to me the appearance of, like when you take a pumpkin and scrape out the guts and then just put on a face, and it's empty, so you put a candle in it to make it appear like there's something there. And it is, it's just something different. But I'm not saying that everybody Baha'i is fake or something like that. I'm just saying these are the ways that I've experienced it. And so I'm sure that Baha'is will say, well, you were doing it wrong, and this and that and the other. And obviously, because I'm not Baha'i anymore, right? But it just surprises me, like I said, how fast, and it was like the quickest thing. I mean, yes, when I look back at the vlogs, I'm like, wow, even a month from a time that I had vlogged something, it's not even important in my mind anymore, or questions I had, or fears I had, or whatever they were, they just so quickly dissipated, and now it's something altogether different, and it's kind of like what I always thought and wished and hoped it would be, and I finally have it. Not that I have it, but I have it in my life anyway, so work towards it, I guess. I don't know. So there you go. Please be kind. Wish you all bright blessings of peace.